Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are still here on this commercial tile job or carpet tile job or whatever. We've got, after today, we will have 1 day left to run base. We're going to have all the tiles installed when we leave tonight. And tomorrow we'll have 800 feet of co-base to install, and that will be it. We've actually installed some LVP here in the kitchen as well on this job. And we are putting down some transition strips. Right here I want to show. These are the glue down. They have the lip underneath here so that they will set on this. And I just want to show how I do that really fast. And this is probably the most efficient way I found out how to do it. I actually figured this out a couple years ago. I was doing a bunch of commercial work on the base here in Tucson. And it was taking forever. I had a whole bunch of transition strips to do, and it was taking forever, so I thought of this. Anyway, this is the glue that I'm using. It's Power Hold 500 contact cement. You won't find this particular brand in Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. You have to get this at a flooring store. Anyway,
Thank you, Matt.
I put my transition right here. And it's already kind of stuck because of that LVP glue. But anyway, I pushed it all the way up forward. I'm going to put my pencil mark right on the back because that's where I want to stop my contact glue. And then I'm going to back it up just a little bit because we also need to get some of that glue on the LVP itself. That LVP glue is messing me up. So I backed it up maybe a 1/4 inch, and I'm going to put my pencil mark on the LVP as well. That way whenever I put it on there where it's going to be permanently, that pencil mark will be covered, and plus it gives me a reference to go by.
Hi, Sean. We appreciate you and Matt and everyone else watching.
Okay, so this is the trick right here. This is just a regular seam sealing bottle that I use to put latex in the gullies and stuff like that. And the only thing I do with that, I just squeeze some out on this, just a line, rather than dabbing in that can and brushing it on, or dabbing it in the can and brushing it on. I put two lines of glue right there. One on the part that's going on the tile, and one on the part that's going on the floor. And then I just take a brush. This is already completely covered now. I can just take a brush and brush it on there. Mix it up there. Get good coverage. I don't have to, better get it off that LVP. I don't have to worry about dabbing it in the can 500,000 times to get enough glue on my scrap piece right here to get some coverage on this. So just putting a nice bead on there speeds up the process dramatically. I've already got this covered as of right now. Bam, it was just like that. Okay, I've got a good coverage right there too. So I'm going to do the same thing on the floor right here. I'm just going to put me a bead right there on the floor where it's going to go. And it's pretty much the same process. I'm just going to take my little scrap carpet right here and just kind of smear it around. That's all you got to do. And you can use a paintbrush or whatever, but typically if you're using these kind of transitions, you're doing commercial carpet. So a piece of commercial carpet works just fine. And I am going to go to my pencil mark right there too, because I want to get some on the LVP.
Devin says we use double back tape or power something that went away.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Well, to each their own. This is, if that works for you, that's all good. I don't complain about anybody that has success out of any ways that they do it. I just, things that tend to work for me is what I stick with. So if you're happy with that, that's more than fine by me.
Hi, baby fish.
My way is by no means the only way, and probably not the best way. It's just the way that I find convenient for me. So again, I'm going to do the same thing right here.
He said, I understand.
All right. And I want to go back on that top part that's going on the LVP. as well. Somebody on there named Babyfish.
Yeah, there was a little bit more to it, but I didn't get it all. Babyfish something. I think it was actually David from, I think somewhere up north.
Are you Nemo? Or Dora? Okay, same process, just
Chatillo, thank you.
just another piece. And as you can see, that is definitely a lot faster than dipping in your can a half a dozen times to get the glue out there. Now I'm going in the gully there to my, get rid of some of that off of there. Going in the gully where it's going to go over my LVT, or LVP rather. And this job I have been on for...
Freddie says, when can you make a video of carpeting spindle stairs?
as soon as I get the opportunity. I actually
Thanks, Brian.
did some... when did we do their house out there that you cleaned?
That
About a
was
year
back
ago?
in July.
Oh, it was back in July, okay. You don't see that too often, to be honest with you, here in Arizona. In Tennessee, it was more of a southern heritage, I guess. I don't know, but you see more of that back there. So, I don't know. As soon as I get the opportunity, I will definitely do that. I was so crunched on time whenever I done that job. That was actually when Jerry quit and that job was scheduled for a week. When both of us was there, so I still had to get that job done within a week by myself. So I didn't have time to do much playing around on that job, needless to say.
That is right, Sean. You can always learn new tricks. And was it Matt asking what kind of brush? He is actually using a scrap piece of
This is just, yeah,
the tile.
just
the
a
carpet
scrap
tile.
piece of my carpet tile is all I'm using. But commercial carpet works really good for this. It's even better than a brush if you do it like this. The other stuff, the other commercial carpet will get a little frayed up. This carpet tile is holding together real well. I actually had two pieces cut because if you use a regular piece of carpet, it will get soft from this contact cement and kind of start falling apart after a few minutes. So I had me a couple cut prepared for it, but this carpet tile is actually holding up really well for this because it's got the harder backing on it. And we are just about done. That's pretty much all I wanted to show because I think that was pretty fast and efficient, and hopefully somebody can benefit from that and it will speed up their install the next time they do some glue down transition strips. And thank you all again for tuning in, and I hope you guys again can benefit or something from this. Anyway, FBSB is out for life. I mean, not for life. I'm not out for life. We'll talk. See you later.
How much should a helper get paid considering he knows the job?
I was
David says wait.
Okay. I was given Jerry because he was with me for about 10 years, and he could pretty much go in and stretch everything in behind me. Pretty much we would pad together, and then I would go make seams. By the time I was done making the last seam, we was doing that room together because he already had the rest of the entire house stretched in, and I was giving him 30%, which it kind of depends on how much money you're bringing in weekly, because you know, sometimes he could bring in a whole bunch of money, and I myself don't feel that a helper should be bringing in a couple $1,000s a week. I don't think that's good for a helper. So it definitely depends on how much money you're bringing in. A typical helper, I used to always start them out at 20%, and then they would top out at 25%. And Jerry was a long time friend of mine. So when we moved out here from from Tennessee, it was really slow. So I gave him 30% so we could both make it, and it just kind of stuck until he quit. So he got to making a lot of money there at one time there before he quit. But anyways,
Captain Crunch says, I think that's who asked the question, but he
Yeah.
said I get paid $100 a day. Is that fair?
If you're a skilled installer, it depends on how much you're getting done per day.
I
And
work 6 days a week, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
oh my goodness, that's not fair. Not if you're getting with those kind of hours, you should be getting 150 yards or better in a day. If unless you're working by yourself, and if that person, if your boss has got 4 or 5 people working for him and he's paying each one of them $100 a day, I can understand that. But if it's just you and your boss or something, you're not getting paid enough. That's just my opinion. When Jerry did, we actually separated there for a bit, and then he came back, and I started him back at $15 an hour, and he was still making some considerable amount of money because we work a lot of hours. But if you're a skilled installer, I would say $15 to $20 an hour is what I would say would be fair. Is that it? If so, I'm going to call it out. Okay.
Going once, going twice.
FBSB is out. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Good job. When's the next video? David says.
I actually got a whole bunch of footage on my regular camera gear and stuff. I have to find time to get it uploaded because we've been working on this.
Captain Crunch says they do 150 yards a day, sometimes 300 yards a day.
How many people's working with you, Captain Crunch? How many's on the crew? Because for that amount of carpet being installed, unless there's 5 or 6 people, like I said, you should be getting more than $100 a day. But at the same time, if there's 5 or 6 guys, then your boss is paying out $500 or $600 a day. So that's fair. I mean, he needs to either cut back on his helpers, and y'all still get the same amount of work done, and that's the way you're going to get your raise. You need to lose some guys if that's the case. I don't know.
Me, my boss, and one more guy.
Yeah, I think you need to be making more money. That's my opinion. I don't think that's fair at all. I'm all about being fair, so that's not fair. I wouldn't agree with that. If you're done 300 yards, my goodness, you should bring home at least a couple hundred yourself, and then the other guy a couple hundred if he's a skilled installer, and your boss is still making money.
He said, I'm sorry, I meant 150 to 200 yards.
Oh, okay. Well, $150 a day at the minimum. If you're doing that, that's fair. Because, I mean, my goodness, what'd you say, from 5 to 7? That's like that's 12 hours. That's less than minimum wage right here is $10.25 an hour. So you're making less than that, and this is hard work. It ain't no joke to be playing around. I would do something.
He said, thanks for the info.
Okay. All right. FBS is out.